That's what we're here for.
I think being sexually abused changed things for me.
Okay.
I was so used to being mishandled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It became a norm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A very sick, toxic, dark norm. You know? And it was almost like I had a spiritual awakening. It was like, you can't be handled like this anymore. You can't, you know what I'm saying? This is not okay. You know what I mean? When you talk about somebody conditioning and programming you and almost training you to lie. You know what I'm saying? I just got to a point where I was like, nah. Now, I'm not saying that was just the moment where, oh my gosh, after that I established all these healthy boundaries. Hell nah. I abused the hell out of myself after that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, I would say maybe in the last year and a half, maybe the last 2 years.
Right.
I kind of just, we talked about being an observer of life.
Mm-hmm.
And not being overly emotional and just kind of just saying, okay, this is what this person is showing me. I need to accept this, and I can't make them be a thing or a way.
I don't feel no type of way when I see a black dude out with a white woman. It ain't got shit to do with me. Number one, it has nothing to do with me. If a black woman is out with a white guy, I don't give a fuck either. It ain't got shit to do with me. I'm gonna date what the fuck I want to date. I don't need your approval. I don't need your validation. I don't need your acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Like, if who I date decides if you accept me, you're giving me conditional love. How do you feel when you see a black woman with a white man or a white woman with a black man? Essentially, what you're talking about is interracial dating. How do I feel when I see it? This is my thought that comes to mind when I see either of those listed in person. Are they in a healthy relationship? Because I can assure you this, it don't fucking matter. Whether, the only thing that matters is cultural differences that go on in that, and maybe sometimes classism, maybe, you know what I mean? But even then, you can have a black person that's in this particular class, and then a higher class than, a white person in a lower class. However, they're still white in America, so it's going to come with its fair share of privileges. We all know this. We get that. We get that. Okay. You know what I mean? Chris Rock has a joke. He says that there's not a white man in this room that would switch places with me, and I'm rich. And when it gets to interracial dating, I don't have no problem with that shit. I interracial date. You know what I'm saying? I don't discriminate. You know what I don't? You guys know what the fuck I don't do. I don't date men. I don't date masculine women. I'm not attracted to it. I'm turned off, almost instantly. Once I recognize masculine features, I am turned the fuck off from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you're not gonna change anybody. You gotta love people where they are, and you can love people from a distance. You can love people, you know what I'm saying, right exactly where they are. And in interracial dating, I don't feel no type of way about it. I think that, for me, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's not you're not taking anything away from me. I have an abundance mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like some people fear losing something from their own kind or whatever because it's this group mentality, herd mentality, if you will, instead of believing that it's individual. And like, there's a billion people in the world, and you're pissed off because this one white woman is dating this one black man, or this one white man is dating this one black woman. Go find you a black woman for you if this is what you want. Go find you a white man for you if that's what you want. Go find you a white woman for you if that's what you want. Go find you a black man if that's what you want. Now, I think the bigger issue that we are dealing with is this person right for me? Regardless of what fucking race, I can tell you from dating multiple races that masculine comes in all shapes and sizes. All right. Masculine women come in all shapes and sizes. All right. And feminine women, ones that lead with that, it's not really hard to find. You just have to develop certain qualities in order to attract that. However, for the sake of being on topic with interracial dating, I don't feel any type of way. I don't feel no type of way when I see a black dude out with a white woman. Ain't got shit to do with me. Number one, it has nothing to do with me. If a black woman is out with a white guy, I don't give a fuck either. It ain't got shit to do with me. I'm gonna date what the fuck I wanna date. I don't need your approval. I don't need your validation. I don't need your acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Like, if who I date decides if you accept me, you're giving me conditional love, is what I see. And I'm just not in the room for that shit. I'm not in the mood for that shit no more. I ain't in the mood. I ain't in no mood for conditional love with that. You know what I mean? So like, date who the fuck you want to date. You have the right to be miserable all you want. You have the right to try to have somebody compliment your life, but please, I implore you, please, do not make this person responsible for your fucking happiness. You will end up in disaster. You know what I mean? Like the women that swear up and down they're gonna meet this fucking dream guy. You have this idea of a man in your fucking mind, and that's where you fuck up. Every time. I don't give a fuck what race he is. Red, blue, green, white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever, mixed, what is it, mulatto, what was it, lotto, big lotto, whatever the fuck she is, she's mixed and shit. Like, anyone that you are dating and you hold them accountable for your happiness, you fucked up. Honestly, you have completely fucked up. That person is not responsible for your fucking happiness. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Stop watching these fucking movies where this guy comes into your life and he sweeps you off your fucking feet and he's just gonna make everything right. No. Fuck that. This is what you do. Okay? Find somebody that you're attracted to. Learn how to love them. Decide if that love is for you. All right? Love comes in very different shapes and sizes again. And some of it's healthy, some of it's unhealthy. And you know what I mean? Like, find out what's best for you. You know, if the black man, if you feel like as a white woman, the black man will value you better, by all means, date the motherfucker. If you feel like as a white man that the black woman will value you better, do it. If you as a black man feel like being with this particular white woman is going to value you better, do that. Sorry, Dr. Umar. You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts on it. If you as a, who we leaving out? White man wants to be with the black woman, you feel like she values you, by all means, but just date who the fuck values you. You know what I mean? Like, don't date people that feel entitled to you, entitled to your attention, entitled to your love, entitled to everything. And you know they're entitled because they throw tantrums when they don't get what the fuck they want from you. You know what I mean? Like, know the difference when somebody thinks they control you and they view love as possession versus appreciation. And you can get that in all races. I don't care how you dress it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, take advantage. If you're alone and you're single or whatever, or maybe single and date, whatever the fuck situation is, learn how to love you. Date you. Honestly. Learn how to date you. Learn how to put you first before anybody else, because you're no good to anybody if you don't take care of yourself. I promise you. Do not allow a person that triggers your toxic childhood to stay in your life. I repeat, do not allow somebody who triggers and brings you back to that childhood feeling of fear. You know, I'm not talking about like the ones that make you feel like a child in the sense that you feel safe. I'm talking about the ones that bring you back to those dark moments that you have once had in life that you never wanted to get back to, and you just feel trapped by them. Yeah, talking to you. I'm telling you right now, put yourself first, okay? Put yourself first. I don't care if your husband is black, if your husband is white, Asian, Latino, wife, black, Asian, Latino, all three of them, if they mix, it's a bad motherfucker. Let me tell you, when you mix all of them in the gumbo, that make that gumbo, you meet them gumbo people, them gumbo niggas and gumbo bitches, and eat them, get that gumbo. Like, whenever you, you know, whenever you, whoever you're dating, pretty much, whoever the fuck you are seeing, dating, in a relationship with, please ensure and recognize that you do not make them responsible for your happiness. All this princess shit that some women like to do is making toxic ass relationships. There is no point in being in a relationship with a woman who is on that princess shit. There's no fucking point of doing it. You're not more human than I am. Don't date somebody that puts you on a pedestal. You don't have to. Let me talk about the special shit. All right, about people that want to feel special. Fuck. Let me tell you about for me. I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, and you can understand my perspective on the shit. But like, I don't need to feel special. I want to be recognized. I mean, not recognized. I want to feel seen. I want to feel heard, and if anything, feel loved. And you got to understand that men and women love differently. You know what I mean? For us, respect is love. All right. And you know what I mean? Like I believe for a woman feels love when she feels safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, safe to be feminine, safe that she's protected, safe that, you know, she can be nasty as fuck without having to worry about you telling all your fucking boys or whoever the fuck you tell, like a beta bitch, you know, that you done went out and done some shit. Like, safety, you know what I'm saying? This is just my theory. I'm still learning, you know, as days go by. Every day that passes, I try to find new ways to understand what I believe the word love means. And clearly, it's an action word. But for men, love means respect. If a woman does not respect you, I don't give a fuck how many times she tell you she love you, she don't love you, man. That's not love. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything else than that, we want to feel respected. I believe that a woman wants to feel protected. You know, that's just me. It's just a theory. It's just a fucking theory. Showing affection, you know what I'm saying? Being able to show affection, like that. These are things that I'm coming up with. You know, protected, passion. What we talking about? You get what the fuck I said, man. Rewind the shit back. Okay, rewind the shit back. You know what I mean? Those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, treat me if I'm human. Value me. Be interested, you know what I'm saying? Be interested in learning who the fuck I am, so you can learn how to love me. You know what I'm saying? And a man wants to be respected. You know what I'm saying? All that lovey-dovey shit, that's all well and good. It's all well and good. It's great, you know, to try to do romantic things. We're more romantic. Men are more romantic than women because we're the ones that's set up to do all the shit. Now, you got some men that don't know what to actually do, but it's the men that are the ones that are doing all the shit. You know, like Valentine's Day, for instance, one of the pagan holidays I loathe. You know what I'm saying? Because now my love for you is based off of what shit I got you, not what you got me, but what I got you for this particular day. And interracial couples go through it, deal with it. Same, you know what I'm saying? Race couples go and deal with that bullshit. It's like a whole bunch of people that's upset because they didn't get flowers or some candy on this particular day as if it defines who you are. It does not define who you are. Is it nice to get the shit? Great. But if you don't get it, you're not entitled to the shit. You're not. You're not entitled to this dumb shit. My love for you is not based on how many gifts I buy you. It's not. My love for you is what I pour into you and what you pour into me. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me. But like I said, I believe men and women love differently, and you can agree or disagree. It's all a perspective. It's not fact. It's not a fact-based thing. It's really just my opinion versus the world, and I'm okay with it. So interracial dating, I do not give a fuck. I don't give a fuck less who you date. That ain't got shit to do with me. I'm not gonna make it about me. I mind my own fucking business. You know what I mean? I do my best to mind the fucks I give. Who you date is on you. Like I said, you have the right to be miserable. You have the right to try to attempt to create, somebody to add to your life, complement your life. And so interracial dating, I'm all for it. I am a proponent for it. And, I've done it. I do it. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm open to all races. But I mean, for some, when you date one race, you only date that, and that's comical. That's comical to me that some people think like I said, some people think like that. But that's not how men work. The entire fucking menu, all right? The entire fucking menu is looked at, not just one particular entree, all right? The entire fucking menu, abundance mindset. So, there's that. That's it. Why do you think it's hard for parents to admit their faults to their children? A few things. As a parent and one who struggled with more than likely admitting things, but probably been too apologetic because I felt like everything was all on me. But I'm going to look into my parents' eyes, under the lens of my parents, the lenses of people that I've gotten to know who are better parents than they know, some including watching the show, that ego gets in the way, raised on conditional love. And so when you're raised on conditional love by your parents, so I'll say my grandparents, and how they raised their kid, you had to be perfect in order to receive love. I believe they removed love. This is just my perspective. I don't know for sure. That would be for my parents to kind of say what they say, but this is just a theory that I have, that they were loved conditionally. So when they would remove love when they didn't do something that they wanted them to do. So now what that teaches the young child's mind, the inner child, this wounded inner child, believes that if I don't get this shit right the first time, if I don't do it in a way that they're pleased with, thus becoming people pleasers, people pleasers started out as parent pleasers. If I don't do it the way that my parent wants me to do precisely, I'm going to not have this love that I've been chasing all my fucking life. And what's so crazy is that you are still that child when you become an adult in some way, shape, or form before you recognize these things. And so when you see it, you find yourself seeing grown-ass people not able to admit their faults, walking around like they got everything figured out. But when they've done some harm in the sense of how they may have raised their kids, and they don't have the it's a lot of shame that comes with it. There's shame in something that you did, and where there's shame and you feel like you're not going to be forgiven or you know what I'm saying, like when you try to apologize, you feel that sense of abandonment, you know. And I've looked at this thing through different lenses, like I said, from my parents' perspective, from friends that I have that are, you know, that have kids, and how they feel about the way that they've done things with their kids. And shame, ego, being conditionally loved, and you don't know how to love yourself unconditionally. And it's, you know, it's all right. It's okay. And no one taught us this shit. No one ever taught us to put ourselves first. So it's all right to not, it's all right to not know how to do it. But how you work at it is recognizing the shit and then putting it into action. The whole objective, all anyone wants to do is feel heard and loved. You know what I'm saying? And seen, you know. So that's the basis of being a human on this fucking earth. Every child wanted to be heard, loved, and seen. I just saw on like J.E.T.Sense has an interview with Nia Long, and I love it because he is, you know, he comes from a background, a street guy, you know what I'm saying? And also a very popular guy in rap, you know, especially when I was coming up in the Air Force. And like just the stuff that he would talk about for our community, for him to admit that he tried so fucking hard to be the best at what he could do only to get his mother's attention. When I tell you I felt that shit, I felt that shit. And that's what a lot of us have dealt with. All we wanted to do was be seen by these two particular people. Some of us. Now, some of us couldn't give a fuck less about what our parents think of us. And that's okay. You know, to each his own. But for those of us who push themselves every fucking day just to be perfect enough so that they can say, I'm proud of you. Validate you. You know what I'm saying? That you're doing this shit right as an adult. It's everything to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Before they become and don't look at you as like they're gods. Because that's essentially what we're doing. We're looking for that validation. Like, did I do this right? Am I being okay as an adult? Am I doing this thing right? I need to know. I'm still a kid, you know, like in the mind. And from that matter, I want to know, am I doing this thing okay? And if you're going to correct me in a way that doesn't shame me as your kid. You know what I'm saying? I know that my parents didn't do everything right with me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? Or all of our family. We didn't do things right as far as, I'm not going to say right because it's perspective, right? So in a healthier way that would probably have reached the child a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? They did the best that they could with the knowledge that they have, and I love them forever for that shit. Does it come with trauma? Hell yeah. Comes with a lot of fucking trauma. You yourself got trauma from your fucking parents, whether you knew it or not. And hopefully you didn't, you know what I'm saying? For the fortunate ones who don't have any trauma and your parents figured that shit out early on, more power to you. But as far as like when you're raised on survival and you have parents raised on survival, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole different ball game. But the beauty of it, while they're still here, there is still time to rectify that shit. And this is for parents, you know, with grown kids, parents with kids that are coming up as, you know, in elementary school, parents that are, you know what I'm saying, teenagers. Like, admit your faults. It's all right. Admit where you fucked up. You're teaching the kid to do the same. All right? Fuck all the perfection. You fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like a child, some children are just, that's all they really want. That's all they really want is a genuine apology for the harm that you caused to their brains, where they felt helpless. They felt like they were in a position where they were scared, and no one taught them how to deal with their emotions. And as a parent, you allowed something to happen. Guilty of it myself. It's happened to me from my parents, and it's happened to them from their parents. So what we're talking about now is breaking a fucking cycle so that we can have healthier relationships with our family. Does it make any sense to see a family that used to be so close-knit when you were coming up? Speaking from my own experience, so close-knit when you were coming up, so it seemed, to become adults and everybody is spread the fuck out, don't want to deal with the person because there is unhealed trauma inside that shit, and no one feels heard, and no one feels like if they express themselves that they're going to be understood, they're going to be chastised, they're going to be dismissed. I'm talking about being in a position where you can actually discuss something before you talk to me in a box, before you go to a gravesite and say all the things you wish you could have said when I was alive. You know what I mean? And we're all guilty of that shit, you know? And it's like, get over your fucking self, get over your ego, and learn how to communicate a little bit better. Baby steps. You know, one step at a time, but looking at yourself and asking yourself, if you were gone, the individual that you got a grudge with, if they were gone and you had to look at them at their funeral, would you still bring that shit up, or will you be too busy sad because they were gone? If that is true for you, then it's not worth it right now. Pretty much, it's not worth it right now. There's time to fix our issues with, if you choose to. Now, granted, you can't do it alone. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it alone, but you gotta have the courage, though. You gotta have the courage to start the ripple effect, and love unconditionally to your family. First off, love unconditionally to yourself. Now, as always, unconditional love is not unconditional tolerance. You know what I'm saying? Healthy boundaries. Like when people try to treat you as if they're more human than you, back the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So it's like finding that balance, because sometimes it's healthier to be away from certain family members because they're still projecting pain out. And you don't have to endure that anymore once you become an adult, if you can get away. But a lot of times people are caught up in situations where they're still stuck with the family and they have to endure such painful projections on a day-to-day basis. But we can change that. We can actually not take things personal, not make assumptions, you know, always do our best and be impeccable with our words. Essentially read the 4 agreements. My Dr. Umar moment where I repeat shit like over and over again, just to try to like put into your head what can be done to help us live healthier lives moving forward. Parents and their inability to come forth and admit their faults, it's merely unconscious assumptions. But I mean, those are pretty much my unconscious assumptions as to why they won't do it. They just feel like they will not be loved if there's any blemish on their character. And that's the thing. We don't want characters. We want our parents. And I had to learn that for myself, that I don't need to be a character for my daughter. She just wanted her daddy. My mother didn't need to be perfect for me to love her. I just wanted my mother. Same with my father. They don't have to be the best whatever. I just want my parents and a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Like an emotional relationship with them. I think it's great that you can buy me anything that you want. But what I'm going to cherish is not the gifts, but the gift of your presence. And that's something that we have to learn. I had to learn that on my own because I got caught up in trying to provide for my kid more so than quality time, you know. So I was teaching love. Love means you give me what I want when I ask for it. So when I don't give you what you want, entitlement, then tantrums are formed because you feel like I'm taking love from you. But when I teach you that love is about saying loving words to your child, giving recommendations and guidance in life. Not even so much telling you what to do. I mean, it's different when you have children, you know what I'm saying? Like for me in my situation with an adult child, I can give recommendations, advice when she asks for it. But no one wants to be told what to do when they're an adult. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's just, I ask anyone. You know, you just tell them like, you should go to the gym. I ain't going to the gym now. I damn sure don't want to go to the gym. But when you recommend something or you actually be the change that you want to see, when people ask something, then you can give advice. But just stop being, work on not being a tyrant to your kids, but someone they can come to feel safe, protected. You know what I mean? Being able to share stuff. But that's my thoughts. Those are my theories, and I'm sticking with them. What are your thoughts on the current structure of marriage in society? I believe that marriage today is more for show. And we have social media to thank for that. Because it's like we're looking at comparisons all day, scrolling, seeing our friends, associates, enemies, whole shit, looking, some pretending to be happy, some they're just genuinely showing their family together doing things. But those individuals that we know that tend to post shit looking like it's all hunky-dory at home, everything's fine, get in your inboxes, my inboxes, telling different accounts of what they're actually dealing with, because it's all about the show. It's the ego. I'm 35 years old. I have to be married, right? I'm 30. I gotta have a kid, right? I'm 40. We have to buy a home or whatever, whatever societal standards you believe you have to fit in for acceptance. And it's unfortunate because you're with someone that's not healthy for you. Not all the time. But my thoughts on the current structure of marriage is that you are in a relationship for the simple fact of being in a relationship. You're not fit to be, and I believe that some are not fit to be in relationships right now because you haven't learned how to love yourself. There is this thing in our society since we were little: you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids. Nowhere in those four does it say you have to learn how to love yourself. And when we go from our houses filled with toxicity and trauma, and then we get with someone who also is coming from toxicity and trauma, two inner childs mashing together, projecting their insecurities on one another, and instead of learning how to love themselves and realizing that nothing a person does is ever about you. And like I get asked all the time about, like, I think I was at the dentist last week, and I was asked, because I was, we were having a conversation, and we were talking about mental health, and I tend to I'll find a way to slide in mental health into a conversation because it opens the doors for so much shit because we all can relate to it. But we're talking, and the question was brought up, like, why are you single? I was like, because I know too much. Well, I said, honestly, I'm being honest. Like, I know entirely too much, and it's so what I mean by that is that there's some work that needs to be done for me. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things, whether that's goals, whether that's self-improvement, whether that is self-care, whether that is just being selfish. Like giving myself the chance to be selfish. with no fucks given. And that's all right. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You meet somebody that just makes your heart flutter and you want to hop into it in the honeymoon phase because it feels good. It feels really good. How many times have you done it before? And what has happened to you? You know, it's not about the idea of somebody. It's about reality, accepting reality of what you're dealing with. I'm done jumping into shit. I know what jumping into shit does for me. I know what it has done. Most of the time, I jump into shit that reminds me of something that's familiar from the toxic things that I learned from relationship standpoint. So learning to love yourself is essential for me, like before even embarking on a relationship, let alone marriage. But think about so many people that have hopped in marriages, making their partner responsible for their happiness, responsible for their insecurities, responsible for just overall life, and sex dies because you stop doing the things that attracted you to them. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel the need to do so because you were doing it for them instead of doing it for you. And that's the beauty of working on yourself, because no matter what the fuck is going on, work on being the best version of yourself. This is how you attract better. My theory by that. Continue to work on being a better person. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to talk without taking things personal when someone shares some shit that you don't like. Don't make it about you. Pretend in a friendship, relationship, in a conversation, pretend that you're a fucking therapist. No matter what that person says to you, don't make it about you. It ain't got shit to do with you, even when they talking about you. You know what I'm saying? But because of our egos, because of who we believe we are, we will defend when someone says something foul about us. But someone's perception of you, someone's opinion of you is none of your business. It has nothing to do with you. And if you have people, obviously if you got people in your life that are negative, tearing you down, constantly tearing you down, get the fuck away. You're not kidding no more. You don't have to tolerate that shit. You don't have to stay in anything that you feel is toxic anymore. Have the courage to walk away from toxicity. Find out the people in your life. Two different types of people in your life for this particular topic, right? You have, and I'm borrowing it from 50 Cent in his book. You have people that make deposits in your life, and you got people that make withdrawals. Now, if you have more people in your life making withdrawals than deposits, you may need to rethink your banking company. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you're gonna have to switch up some shit, and it's okay. You did the best you could. You didn't know any better. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know. You did the best that you knew at the time. And when you recognize shit, you recognize how people use you for their happiness. They feel complete by using you, and then they don't give you anything on the other end. Now, granted, we go back to unconditional love, right? Don't do anything that you would want somebody to do, like you're expecting something in return. No entitlement, no expectations, and no ego. So ultimately just sharing unconditional love with people. Unless you're in business, there's no room for unconditional love in business. You're gonna pay me what you owe me. You know what I'm saying? But like something like this, don't do anything. That means have the courage to say no. If you don't want to do something, that's okay. Say no. Like, that's it, period. If you're not comfortable, if you don't want to do something, do not allow a situation to pressure you. Like, am I going to be accepted if I say no? No, love yourself. Love yourself. This is where self-love comes in. So now I can say no without having to worry about anybody feeling some type of way. Don't do anything that you don't want to do. It's okay. You are enough. You're not incomplete. You're not broken. You are enough. So if you don't want to do something and they try to come with that peer pressure shit, stand firm, stand your ground. You know what I'm saying? Say no. So learning self-love will, I believe, will help us better in our relationships, thus helping us in marriages. Like I say, older folks, like maybe our parents' age and older, because mental health is not really. They didn't have time to focus on mental health when they was trying to get food for us. But thankfully, the way life has gone, we're able to we can focus on that just a little bit. But let's say folks our parents' age, if you're like me, I'm 38, so parents are, and fairly 20 years or more older, being able to go to a counselor, being able to go to therapy, and finding out and unpacking all the shit that was put down on you, on this little person that had no business taking on all that was given. How well would that do for your marriage? You know what I'm saying? Like, how well would that do for your family? Because when you heal your family. And that's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of therapy. It's like, you don't want to see your kid go through the same shit you went through. It is an uncomfortable feeling. It is uncomfortable to watch your kid go through the same toxic shit that you dealt with, or worse. So go to fucking therapy. I recommend. Let me put that in there. I don't want to tell people what to do. I recommend going to therapy and healing up, so that we can have healthier relationships, healthier marriages, learn how to love one another, find people that you're attracted to, continue to work on yourself so that attraction stays there. But just learn love. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn love on your own. Learn how to love yourself. Take yourself out on dates. It feels uncomfortable at first going by yourself, but do the shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a dream, as MLK would say, a day where people feel comfortable being uncomfortable, like learning how to love themselves. That's my dream for what I'm trying to do, or what I'm doing with this platform, in hopes that it makes us healthier in the mind to see shit from different perspectives, to go talk to actual professionals, because I am novice to this shit. I know a little bit about a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. And there are people that know a hell of a lot more than me that can definitely help you and your families. So healing is the mission. Healing is the plan. Healing every woman, healing every man. I made that shit up right now. Get the fuck healed. Marriage is for status right now in society. Say all that to say this. Marriage is about, I believe a lot of people are getting married for status, just for say, hey, look, I'm married. But the divorce rates, divorces are a hell of a lot higher than they were in previous times. And that's more than just like the inability to just try to work something out. But sometimes you just know you don't have to stay in something toxic. You know what I'm saying? Empath or narcissist is the dangerous combination. You know what I'm saying? When an empath meets a narcissist, that's the perfect prey for the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like doing what you got to do to get out of that to be healthy. Don't be afraid to be alone. Have the courage to walk. Everything you want in your life is on the other side of fear. And so if you are in a toxic marriage, you feel that way, toxic relationship, I'm sending you positive and healing energy. Hopefully you find it in yourself to go get help for yourself. And everything else will take care of itself, you know. Learn healthy boundaries. Learn how to speak up for yourself. Learn how to stand your ground on things. Most importantly, learn how to love yourself.